Kumusta mga Exile? Game Ross here. Welcome to another my budget build guide. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about my upgraded version of my skeleton mages. First, I'm gonna talk about my equipments, and I didn't change much to my equipments. Previously, I was using this Severed in Sleep Cutlass, but now I'm using this brand new Convoking Wand, and I actually just looted this one, and then I just crafted the minion damage, and you can find a much better wand in the market. It can go up, the minion damage can go up to 100% increased damage, and it can get very expensive. If you want to buy a cheap wand like this one, look for a wand with just minion damage and then craft the attack and cast speed, or look for a wand with attack and cast speed like this one and then craft the minion damage. And for the rest of my equipments, they're pretty much the same as the old one, but I'm still gonna talk about it. So first, I'm gonna talk about my unique items. First is this Essence Worm and Set Ring, and I'm using two of them, and I'm using Zealotry and Anger in my rings. And lastly is this Alberon Warpath, and I'm only using this because it has +1 to maximum number of skeleton. And for the rare items, first is this shield. Since I'm using Necromantic Aegis, this shield will apply to my minions. And look for a shield with high spell damage, and if you can find a shield with gain 10% of fire damage as extra chaos damage, that is much better. And also look for a shield with increased cast speed. And for the amulet, look for an amulet with 1 to maximum number of skeleton, and also with high dexterity because you're gonna need it for your gem requirements. And for the helmet, either buy or craft 1+ to maximum number to raise zombies and skeletons. And yeah, the rest of my rare items are just basic life and resist. And for the flask, since they don't apply to my minions, I'm only using defensive flask, and I'm using basalt flask for additional physical damage reduction, granite flask for more armor, and quicksilver flask for increased movement speed. And for the gem setups, before I was using Summon Chaos Golem and level 1 Precision, but now I'm using Summon Carrion Golem, so my non-golem minions will have additional physical damage. And I'm using Summon Skitter Bots, so my enemies will have chill and shock debuff. And yeah, in my shield I have level 1 Clarity, and on my body armor I have Val Summon Skeleton with Spell Echo, Lesser Multiple Projectile, Minion Damage, Elemental Focus, and Control Destruction. And against boss fights, I switch Lesser Multiple Projectile with slower projectile, but if the boss moves around so much, I just use Pierce. And on my boots, I have Projectile Weakness, Elemental Weakness, Curse on Hits with Stormbrand. And on my gloves, I have Ball Haste, Generosity, Flesh Offering, and Increased Duration. And on my wand, I have Flame Dash, Desecrate, and Spell Cascade. And on my helmet, I have Raise Zombie, Meat Shield, Fortify, and Minion Life. For the Pantheon, I'm using Soul of the Brine King for the 2-second stun immunity, and Soul of Grootkull for the physical damage reduction. For the Ascendancy, I'm using Necromancer, and I'm using Commander of Darkness for the increased attack and cast speed per active aura, and increased damage and elemental resistance. And I'm also using Mindless Aggression for minion movement speed, damage, attack speed, and cast speed. And I'm using Unnatural Strength for +2 to level of all minion skill gems. And lastly, this Bone Barrier for additional physical damage reduction and elemental resistance per minion. For the skill tree, get these nodes with +1 to maximum number of raised zombies and skeletons. And I'm also using this Whisper of Doom for additional curse. And Get some dexterity as well because you're gonna need it for your gem requirements. And of course those minion damage. I'm also using this elemental equilibrium and also this necromantic aegis, so my shield will apply to my minions. And also for the jewel, I'm using this dead reckoning cobalt jewel. Now in blight league, you only gonna need one of this jewel. And lastly, this from dust cobalt jewel, so you can summon 2 additional skeleton per cast. And yeah, that's all I can say about this build. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Magkita na lang tayo sa susunod na video.